As Israel continues to expand military operations in Gaza, rescuers say Israeli strike in the Gaza Strip has claimed the lives of at least 52 people so far. The strike on the Fahmi al-Jojawi school in Daraj neighborhood of Gaza City killed 33 people, mostly children, and also wounded dozens. Another strike killed at least 19 people in Jabalia in the northern Gaza Strip. According to Gaza's Civil Defense Agency spokesperson, the school, which became a target of Israeli strike, was sheltering displaced people. According to Gazan-run health ministry, at least 3,822 people have lost their lives in the enclave since the ceasefire collapsed on March 18th, taking the overall death toll of the war to nearly 54,000.
I was sleeping in the tent, and suddenly I heard an explosion and found myself lying down. The tent was full of children and pregnant women, and the situation was already difficult. We were asleep and didn't receive any prior warning, and bodies were everywhere. It was like a horror zone.
The Israeli military said it had struck key terrorists in the area, and numerous steps were taken to mitigate the risk of harming civilians. Israel renewed its offensive in March after ending a ceasefire with Hamas. It has vowed to seize control of Gaza and keep fighting until Hamas is destroyed. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday vowed to bring back all hostages home. This amid increasing pressure from families and international allies to secure the release of captives still held in Hamas since the October 7 attacks.
As in the past, so too today, we will defeat those who seek to take our lives. We will bring back all our hostages, and we will ensure that Gaza no longer poses a threat to Israel.
Netanyahu delivered the remarks at an official ceremony marking 58 years since the liberation and unification of Jerusalem. Crowds of Israelis marched through Jerusalem's old city waving flags and dancing to mark Jerusalem Day. Some groups of Israeli youth were seen confronting Palestinian shopkeepers, passers-by and school children. Some of them were seen spitting on people, lobbing insults and even trying to force their way into houses. Some also chanted, "Death to Arabs, may your village burn, and Gaza belongs to us." Earlier, several reports cited unnamed Hamas officials declaring that the group had accepted an updated proposal from U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff. However, now U.S. Special Envoy to West Asia has denied the claims that Hamas had accepted his hostage deal proposal, calling on the group to agree to a temporary ceasefire that he said Israel will approve. The last ceasefire between the sides fell apart amid disagreements over how to move forward, with Israel resuming its operations in Gaza on March 18th. 8 groups since then have raised alarm over signs of severe malnutrition in Gaza. After pressure from allies and warnings of famine, Israel started letting in some aid last week. After a nearly 3-month blockade, 170 trucks with food and medical supplies crossed into the Gaza Strip on Monday. The Israeli military said the trucks belonging to the United Nations and other aid groups came in through the Kerem Shalom crossing after a brief security inspection. The entry of 8 trucks into the Gaza Strip comes as the head of the United States-backed aid group for Gaza announced his resignation. He resigned, saying it was impossible to do his job in line with principles of neutrality and independence. The Gazan Humanitarian Foundation, based in Geneva since February, has promised to distribute some 300 million meals in its first 90 days of operation. But the United Nations and international aid agencies have said they will not cooperate with the group amid accusations it is working with Israel. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz issued a warning to its partner Israel, saying he no longer understands its objectives in its ongoing offensive in Gaza. He also warned Israel to eventually not do anything that its partner countries would no longer be willing to accept.
I will now say it a little more clearly. What the Israeli army is doing in the Gaza Strip now, frankly, I no longer understand what the goal is. To involve the civilian population in such a way, as has increasingly been the case in recent days, can no longer be justified as a fight against the terrorism of Hamas.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.